Okay, hello to those just joining the live session. We're going to get started now. Still on the Halloween theme related week, we're going to be creating some very cool and interesting products today. So let's get started. Okay, well, let's start this live session with the basics. What is Customily? Well, most of you installed the app quite recently and are either getting started with your store from scratch or beginning the process of selling personalizable products on an existing store. For both cases, we have the perfect tools to get started. So, Customily is an app that provides your store with live previews of products, along with options that your customers can interact with, changing those live previews with every interaction. So from text typing to clip art selection or image upload, your preview will change live and give you a realistic example of how your customization will look on the product. So imagine how you would customize something before customizing. In this case, I'm able to type in whatever name I want and get it shown here, in this case as letters, as image letters, or I can text type. I can also have drop downs and swatches and be able to change the number of letters, the number of designs, images. There's a lot of options available. There's a great space for creativity here. This is one example we created for today. This is a tote bag that we are imagining is going to be a candy bag for Halloween, in which you have a decoration and you can type in with monster letters your name between 1 and 6 letters. It could be more letters, it's entirely up to you. Another example we found is so you could see the potential of Customily is this interesting um, canvas. This is uh, this is basically a canvas that you can upload your photo. There's a AI application called CutOut.Pro that will cut your head off, and also you can type in text and you can select the fonts. So Customily can provide you with all these tools. Now, the advantage of this is how would you customize before Customily? You will need to create and upload a lot of images of your product with the different choices and the different font options or clip art options. And your customers will have to type in the description of the order what they wanted. After that, they will need to wait for you to create proof, to send them over, start a back and forth email conversation until you finally reach the final outcome. And then you need to produce that and send to fulfillment. Now, Customily has simplified all those processes by giving you, the merchant, the control of what designs to offer and what choices to offer, and it has given the customer the full control of the customization itself. So they can type whatever they want, they can select the fonts, the colors, the clip arts, upload whatever image they want, and position that image anywhere they want. And at the end, they will be customizing and previewing live whatever they want. So if I were to test this out, I could click on this upload button. I could find the sample, for example, of our friend Sam here. And you see there's a small time of processing to cut out the head of the picture. But I can also type in the name. You see it's updating live. I can change the font and see that preview live. This is all done by Customily. And if I were to upload any image, I'll be able to move it around inside the ball, as well as expand it, rotate this, hit a nut, did good, and have something like that. This is all being customized live. And the best part is your customer is seeing this preview, but after they purchase, Customily will create a print file with the same information. So you know, not only get the preview, but also you get the ready to print file automatically. And that saves you a lot of time because it saves you the back and forth emails, it saves you the creation process, and gives the customer full control of what they want to input without having to ask or go back and forth. And of course, you are in control of what to offer, what fonts to offer, how many characters to allow, what type of files you want uploaded. That's entirely up to you. Now, the way Customily works is like this. This preview that you see here is done by loading a template on the page, as well as the options, and the group of options is called the option set. These two elements, the template and the option set, are created in Customily. So if you follow the steps of creating a template from scratch, you'll be able to create the options automatically and link those two elements to any of your existing products. So it's as simple as that. But that is in case you wish to use Customily for existing products or brand new created products that you will be you wanted to give the chance for customization. But what if you have a blank page, a blank store, and you want to start from scratch? And I'm going to jump back to my presentation. That's why we created Customily 2.0. Now, what is this? This is our latest update for Etsy stores and Shopify stores. This allows you to create and publish personalized products easier, faster, and better than before. So those starting your stores from scratch will have more interest in this section because now you can choose a product directly from a print-on-demand supplier, add a design to it, and get it published in your store, all from the Customily app. Also, with those print-on-demand services that have an API connection, all the fulfillment processes will be automated. So this means that once you receive a purchase, all the order details and the ready-to-print file that Customily created will be sent to the corresponding POD provider automatically for fulfillment and shipping. So not only Customily is saving you time on the customization process, but also on the print file creation process and on the fulfillment process as well, all with one single app. And another interesting feature is that you will now have free access to Customily's design libraries. So this means that if you are in need of some inspiration to get started, you can find designs that are ready to use and sell, or you can grab those clipart collections and use them to create your own designs. So if you were to start off with Customily and Customily 2.0, the way to go is like this. You will need to ask yourself a few questions right from the beginning when you go into Customily. For instance, you will need to ask yourself if you're going to be creating new products or you're going to be using your existing products. If you're going to be fulfilling with a print-on-demand provider or you're going to be doing your own fulfillment. You can be your own workshop, your own factory. You should ask yourself if you're going to be using Customily designs or you want to create your own art. So depending on how you answer those questions, you can take one road, which is to create the templates from scratch and connect them to existing products, or you can go into Customily 2.0 and do some of these possible options. For example, you can work with a print-on-demand provider who has its own POD, his own product catalog, and you can add a design from the Customily's library to it. This is the fastest path and the one that allows you to have a published product ready to sell in minutes. Also, you can work with a print-on-demand provider, but choose to add your own designs to their products. In this case, you will have to open the Design Studio and populate your design library before being able to publish products in your store. On the other hand, if you have your own products and you're not interested in working with a print on demand provider, the way to go is to start by populating your product based collection first. After you have your own product mockups, you can choose to add a design from Customily's library to them and create and publish the listings really fast. So you have your own product, you have your own mockups and information, and you can start creating products by combining that information with designs along Customly. Or you can, of course, add your own designs to your own products. This is the path that involves more time, but once you have all your product mockups and all your designs set up, it's just a mix and match and combination game that you can do to start creating products really fast. So you can combine multiple products for a single design, or you can use multiple designs in the same products, and each operation will create your listings along the way. So now that we have the different alternatives clear, we're going to start creating products together. Okay, let's say I am a store owner. I want to start selling personalized products, and I just installed Customily to try it out. You should know Customily works and integrates with pretty much all e-commerce platforms. That's Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, Magento, Etsy, and Walmart. On each case, the behavior and available features are different, and you should explore our website to see what's included on each platform. We work hard to try to develop the best possible tools for all platforms alike, but right now you have a lot of possibilities. Just it's better to check out which ones you have available for your particular platform. The examples we are going to be covering today can be easily done for any platform, but some 2.0 features and processes will be available for Etsy stores and Shopify stores only. So here we are in the main menu of Customily. You can see at the left bar that we have some icons, and let me show you what you can do in each section. These first three sections are shortcuts to the 2.0 tools. This is the start page, which you basically create a new product, and you will see that you can start off with your own product basis, but you can also start off with print-on-demand providers. In the My Designs area, you can create and manage all your designs. Designs will be those that can be combined with different products from different print-on-demand providers without any problem. And your product-based library is basically where you're going to be setting up your particular products when you are not working with a print-on-demand provider. When you are your own fulfillment, for example, and you want this basis because you will combine a particular product with multiple designs, creating new listings on each combination. The next three sections are the main core of Customily. You can explore, manage, and create templates. Remember that templates are the main file that will always load on the front end. Now, when you're working with Customily 2.0, those templates are created automatically by combining the information of design and product, but you can also manually create them from scratch. You can modify those existing created automatically. There are a lot of things you can do on the template section, but basically you're free to manage every one of those independently in this area. You can upload and organize your assets in libraries. We have color libraries, fonts, vectors, and images. It's very important because libraries will allow you to use and reuse most assets without needing to upload them one at a time. You just do that once on the library, and then you can start reusing libraries without any problem. In the store section, you'll be able to see all your connected products, as well as change many settings that will help you customize the front-end experience of your customers. In the orders section, you will start to see the orders that are created using Customily. So whatever product you publish and it is sold, it will create an order in your e-commerce dashboard, of course, but also you will have a backup here in Customily where you can revisit the print file, check the preview, make any adjustments that may be needed. That's a great backup to have that in the orders section. So today we're going to create the products I showed you at the beginning. Um, First of all, you need to know a couple of things. These products are did involve a bit of research and a bit of production first. For example, these letters, you will see that we have used them already on a previous live session, and you will have them available for downloading as well to play around with them. You will actually need to have these letters before you get started and upload them to Customily. You will need to have this pumpkin background, for example. And I think there's a question related to what I'm about to say. Is just one second. It says, how do you get the POD exact dimensions? Some POD providers don't provide guides. That's correct. You can always still create a product, and the ending template will show you the right dimensions, because the dimensions will always come with the print on demand provider. But if you were, for example, to create this candy Halloween bag, this is basically a all over print tote bag from Printify. Basically, this has a specific print area because it wraps around. So you're free to actually print both sides, even if you're going to be seeing only one side. So, like I said, coming into a specific product will not be just 2 clicks away. You need to do a bit of research so your designs will fit perfectly on the final product. To quickly show you this 20, right? Yeah, this particular design, particular product will have a specific print area, a specific structure of the print area, in which some area is the bottom of the bag. We have some safe area and some bleed. So learning this from the beginning will help you go into Customily easy. Before we go into creating this first tote bag with Printify, one thing you should know is those pre-ODs that have automatic fulfillment indicated here below will need to have an API key integrated to Customily so you can have automatic fulfillment. You can still browse through their catalogs and everything, but if you want them to automatically fulfill for you and save you a lot of time, you will need to grab the API key. How do we do that? We're going to click on Settings here at the Start section of Customily. In the Settings section, we're going to find the fourth tab, which is Integrations. Here, you can select from the drop-down menu whatever POD you want to integrate with. In this case, I already have a Printful integration and a Printify integration, but if I were to set up Custom Cut, for example, that's one of the questions I'm going to read later, I can select Custom Cut, click on Enable Integration, and I will see here the Custom Cut API key field. What I need to do is find this API key on my Custom Cut account and copy paste in here. How do we find that? You have here a quick link to our help center to show you where you can find the different API keys. So all you have to do is check for Gelato, yeah, Custom Cut. You follow the guides, are very clear, very graphic, and you grab the API key for read write in this case and paste it here. Once you paste it, you click on Save Settings. It will turn green. And now you are fully integrated with Custom Cut, and you'll be able to automatically fulfill. So once you do that, you're ready to go into the creation of products. So let's create a new product. Let's open Printify, and you will see that the Printify catalog will load. And I'm checking the question that I just received. While it's loading I don't know why. Okay, yeah, that was probably my connection. So this is the Printify catalog, And we can browse through different products that are integrated with Customily, or we can just search here and go for the tote bag all over print. This is the one we're going to be using. So if I click on this product to select that, I can actually check the provider and the available variants. I'm going for the small because we don't want any large tote full of candy for Halloween. And once I pick at least one variant, I'm ready to go to the next step, which is to pick the design. So I can pick from Customily designs if I click there, and I will see over 200 designs that are available for you to create products, to grab the clip arts once you create them, use those characters, pets, or whatever, and you will see a lot of designs and a lot of categories here to explore and use. This is a great way to get started, a great way to see how designs are structured inside Customily and check out the options. Basically, it's a great way to have something ready to go. At the same time, go inside and check how they are built. But we want to create our own design. Remember that you can use print on demand products, but also create your own design. And for that, we're going to the My Design section. I'm guessing when you get started, this section will be empty. So the first way to go is to create a new design. Once you create a new design, you will jump right into the design studio. And here you will see a lot of tools. Let's call this the live session Halloween pack. You start off with a square big canvas, but you can resize this to the proportions that you are going to be working on your specific design. And you have a lot of tools to start customizing. You have text boxes so your customers can input text. Image placeholders or vector placeholders are objects that your customers will use to upload their own files. And then we have street maps for customizing locations. Star maps will be the same for the night skies. And we have dynamic elements. These elements are used for you to upload your own artwork, your own backgrounds, your own clip arts, everything you need to put together an amazing design. And of course, combine those backgrounds with custom text boxes or image placeholders. We're going to use many of these tools today. But we want to create a design for the tote bag. Now, I checked with Printify, and I found that the small print area of the small tote bag is actually, I'm going to put this in, just 1 second, in inches. I'm going to resize this by clicking on this button on the top, change this to inches, and change this to 14.5 by 29 inches. That's my print area and my proportions for the small tote bag. So I know for a fact that if I were to design something here, it's going to show on one side. And one thing I can do later is to actually copy that and rotate so I can put it here if I want to print two sides, right? Even if I can see one side on the preview, you can print both sides, which is going to be, remember, this is going to be printed also by Customily. So ensuring you have the right print area and the right design on the right position will be the best way to go. And of course, if you connect to Printify and you want to grab this guide, you can also grab the guide. It's going to save you a lot of time when you're presenting this here. But I'm going to wing it without any problem. Let me just probably going to have this object created in half of the area just to see that. Okay, so we have 7.3, that's 3.5, yeah, something like that. That will be close to the middle of the tote bag. Yeah, I just want a simple object, empty object, just to guide me into what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put together a great design. And like I said, I need to do some homework on grabbing these graphics to put them together in Customily. Customily will allow you to put together whatever graphics you need, but at the same time, you need to have them already. So if I'm going to put my own graphics into my design, I will not use a placeholder. Placeholders are for my customers. I'm going to use dynamic elements, in this case, a dynamic image. And I can click on upload images so I can find my, for example, the first graphic that I have is this. This is my pumpkin background that I can just put here. I'll make sure it shows in the edge of the first side. I have alignment tool, so I could actually align this better like that. That's one way to go to put together one of the sides of the tote bag. And the other thing we are going to be doing is we're going to be creating the different letters. You're welcome to watch our previous live session on how to create these letters that are actually images, but Customily can map images to texts. So if you type something, it's going to try and match to a series of letters. The way to do this is to have a library with all the letters that you need. I have opened another tab here to show you what a library like that will look like. We actually uploaded this library on the previous live session, so I'm going to take advantage of that already here. But if I open the library section, I have on top here my 4 sections. I will go to image libraries, and there's a filter here that I can go to monster and find my monster letters. I'm going to click on edit to see what I have. Basically, what I can do here is add images from my computer, as many as I need. Now the thing is, and there's an explanation on our help center on how to map text to images. The way Customily works is that the letter A has to be on the second position, and then upload everything to you will upload all of them together, but just make sure that the first space of your library is empty. Basically, number 1 doesn't exist. The reason for that is because it's the way we map the letters with the different positions. So you see I have 27 letters, right? Sorry, 26 letters, all of them together. If I were to use this image library on my design, all I have to do is create a dynamic image, a dynamic element. You see, dynamic elements have 4 icons, meaning that they can hold many different images inside. So let me just go and try to put this on a square. Oops, too big of a square. Yeah, like that. This is going to be my letters, my letter, actually, one of the letters. And I can upload all the letters if I want. But if I pick the library, it is faster because now I can just use my existing library without having to upload one by one. There are 27 images inside this object, and I can preview all images by changing the option indicator. You see, number 2 is the A, and now you start to get the idea of how this works. So whenever customer types in the letter A, Customily will find the position number 6 to display the letter A. If I am going to be using, for example, a word of 4 letters, I can copy this by clicking Control C and Control V, right? Those are the common keyboard shortcuts. And I'm going to do that again, and I'm going to do it again. So now I have 4 different objects. I can align them together like that, and align to the workspace to the center like that. So now I have, let me go a bit smaller on this. I can type a word of 4 letters. Can do also of 3, 2, 1, 10 if I want. Due to time restrictions, I'm going to just stay with 4, and I'm also going to create 3, 2, and 1. How do we do that? We have these 4 objects, and if I type, for example, Toby or Alec, I'm going to the A is going to match this. The L is going to match. That's a great question. 13. So if I preview 13, the E is going to match number 6, and the XYC 25 should match like that. So I just going to type Alex, but it's going to display all these letters. If I open the Layers tab, I will also see that I have all these elements. This is the image selection. Oh, this one is to mark. This one was to just tag the middle of the toad. Yeah, I'm going to delete that. Yeah, this one is the pumpkins. I can double click to rename this, and these 4 are the letters. I actually like what I just did by accident, which is to just align this again. Perfect. And I'm going to make sure this goes a bit down. So the spider seems to be dropping down from this letter. So probably going to keep this aligned to the spider. So I have these 4 image selectors, and I'm going to create a layout, which is a group. So they will behave together, but I can swap between 1, 2, 3, and 4 letters. This will be 4 letters. And to save time, I'm not going to create stuff again. I'm going to copy this, Control C, and I'm going to paste it exactly on the same side. Oops, wait, like that. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste exactly everything on the same position. But this is a new group. And you see the new group starts, okay, this one started from number 3, 4, 5, 6, and this one starts from number 7, 8, 9, and of course 10 will be deleted because now we want this to be 3 letters. I'm going to copy this again and paste it again. Oh, okay, no worries. It pasted the other one, but it's the same as 10, 11. This one will have only 2 letters, so this will be called 2 letters. And finally, let me copy this and paste that again. The last one will have only 1 letter. So Customily will understand that you have different choices and will create a drop-down selector for 1 letter, 2 letters, 3 letters, and 4 letters. See, and they act as independent groups that they will hide or show depending on which one is selected. And that's a great way to create a custom name, and you can go up to as many letters as you want. Of course, you will need to copy and paste this repeatedly. So once we have this put together, one thing you can do, and I'm not going to do that now, but you can do that later when you are reviewing this video, is you can grab everything and you can, let's grab everything. What is this? I thought I had thrown this away. Okay. You can grab everything here and you can copy this and flip it here so you can print on both sides of the toad. That could be something. I mean, this part will not be shown on the preview, but you're still able to print that. So let's, yeah, definitely we're going to do that. We're going to save this like that. Okay, so this is my tote bag. This is my design of a tote bag. Of course, I have everything duplicated, but no need to worry about that. Let's put this here, pumpkins and pumpkins. Okay, Let's just keep that one section here. Center like that. Okay, we have 1 letter, 2 letters, 3 letters, 4 letters. Everything looking great. Oh, that I wanted that to be aligned again. Okay, so I'm going to save this design, and automatically Customily will create the options. What are the options? Basically, are all the choices your customers will have. So now I'm back in my design. I can click on the last page and check out my live session Halloween bag here. I can edit this again if I want to change stuff about the design, or click on edit options to see what options Customily has created by default. When you click on preview options on the top here, you will see that you start off with 1 letter, with a drop down that says what layout you want. Layout is not like the best label, so if I click on the pencil, I'll be able to open this option from the big option list of options, and here I can change this to select number of letters. Yeah, and we have 1 letter, 2, 3, and 4. Whenever I pick 1 letter, you see I get to see these swatches. This is a great way to pick your letter. Well, what if you have 4 letters and you need to go 1, 2, 3, and 4? That's not very nice. It's better if you map with a text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay with 1 letter. I'm going to find this this object here, this choice here, and this choice will be renamed, and this is going to be like type your letter. Now, the great thing about Customily is that you don't want this to be a swatch. A swatch is basically all these thumbnails. You want this to be a text input because customers will want to type something. But also you don't want them to type whatever the hell they actually want. You want to control that, and that's the great thing about being the merchant on this case. You will be able to put the maximum number of characters they want and actually set this to only be letters. With that in mind, the rest is working. You see, this condition says that the text will show only when you have 1 letter. And you need to check what's happening with the function. The function says that you are connected to a dynamic image, okay? And you see this guide will show you where Customily will start to map the text with the different images on the object. But with what object is this? We can find this by clicking here on the element. We're going to find this template here, and Customily will try to see which one is this. Acrylics. I'm looking for the no, there's no template yet, so we need to actually open our design. So I'm going to this my design section, find the design, edit, and I'm able to see at the same time the options and the design together. For 1 letter, we need to locate, we need to call this particular dynamic image number 12. So that's number 12. Then we start previewing again 2 letters. 2 letters will have these 2 items. So I click on the pencil to find the item. Let me just copy the text to save some time. Let me go to 1 letter, and this will be type your letter. Yeah, that's what I want. So 2 letters, find this choice, change this to a text input, and call these 2 letters. Of course, you need to restrict this to 2 characters and only letters, just as we did before. And the other choice, you don't need this second letter because once you type 2 letters, it's going to connect one next to the other. That's why it's very important to have this sequential. So I'm going to tell this start from 10 and find the next one, which is 11. So I'm in the function part, I'm just going to say 10, and because Customily will see two characters, it will go 10 and 11. So this choice here is no longer needed. We can find that and remove that. Let's go with the free letters. It's the same process. We find the first choice, change this to text input, change the label so we indicate the right thing. Number of characters will be free, restriction will be only letters, and the image that you start connecting to is the 7. Then it will go 8 and 9. So 7 is the one to start. It says the initial image ID is 7. This is very important to keep an eye on. The rest is the number 2 can be deleted. Number 3 can be deleted. Then we go to number 4, 4 letters. Again, this is the last step. We're going to change this to text input, change this to type of letters, 4 character limit, only letters, and the 4 letters starts on the 3, 4, 5, 6. So number 3 is the one we need to put here as the starting this. This is the option that Customily will try to find to modify the letters. I think these 3 are the ones we can actually delete. That's a great question. But just in case you don't know which one of these you need to delete, just click on the pencil to locate that, so you know exactly what to delete and don't make a mistake. Now that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 letters, you see the option set has been highly reduced to basically 4 text inputs and 1 drop-down selection. That's all we need for this design. And one thing that I want to show you that I missed one step here. Sorry about that. In the design, there's a couple of things, and that's the reason why it wasn't showing at the beginning. There's a thing here that this is the only information that is available in my design. So always the system will try to center this in the print area. So what happened is that I created the product and the design was here. Why? Because it's a default process to avoid that things go out of control. If you want this design to be exactly on this particular position, on this particular print area, you need to create a transparent guideline. And that's another dynamic image that is going to be as big as the print area. I think there was another stationary live session that we use this. Basically, you upload a transparent PNG. That's very important about the PNG. And it doesn't show anything. It doesn't change anything. But when the system will read, the design will read this entire shape. And that's what I was kind of needed to show you as a great way of positioning stuff when you know the print area is a bit complex, like the tote bag. Now we're going to create a new product and go again to Printify to find the tote bag. Find the tote bag, small size, the next print area, and now I'm going to pick from my designs. I'm going to find my design on the last page probably, and click here. Once I click a design, Customily will start the process of creating a new listing on my store, whether it's Etsy or Shopify. Is going to connect through the API key, so that new listing is connected to Printify. It's going to grab the information about the print area and the mockups, and it's going to put the design that we created on the print area and on the tote bag. You see, it's mapping perfectly. All 4 letters. It's showing the design and everything. And I actually like this, so I'm going to click this to save this to be my new product image. But that small detail and step about having a full box of elements to match the special print area is very important. It's a trick. It's a special tip that I'm giving you to avoid, well, having to go back and do that, because the design was basically printing on the bottom of the tote bag. It was on the center of the print area. I'm going to click here on edit product details, so I can change this name and go for live session tote bag pumpkins, and price this as the 11. I don't know. You can change this later on your store, either Etsy or Shopify, really fast. But this is a quick shortcut, and in my particular case, I'm very happy with this, so I'm going to publish this. And you see, this listing is ready to go. It's live, has the price, the name. Took a few seconds to update on my Shopify store, and I can customize this any way I want, and the letters will match. Everything will perform exactly as we design it. Now, I know we're very short, so I hope you stick with me, because I want to talk about this product. This product is done by creating a template from scratch. I mean, you can definitely do this, combining this with any print-on-demand canvas. We kind of wanted to do this from scratch, so you can see the process. But again, you need to prepare something before jumping into Customily. What does Customily offers for this particular design? Basically, the chance for you to upload a lot of clip art that you need, and also give you the upload image, the placeholder object here, and the text input with a font selection. So that's your concept, and you need to prepare your assets. Now, we had a great help from our illustration team, in which they grabbed our basic ideas, and they put together the necessary graphics. This has a lot of layers and stuff, but basically they had two pieces of information. They had like the backgrounds and main layers here, the moment in which you put the image, and then you have the overlays, which are the effects that are showing here. So this is what the structure of this particular product looks like. In the end, looks amazing because it has all the different layers, but you don't have to worry about this. Obviously, you will need to prepare this file, but in the end, you only need two PNG images. You need the background elements, which will create something like this, and you will need, this will be at the bottom of the layers. Then you will upload the image, and then you will have all the overlays, which are these, that will end up in something like that. You see, all that small squares there are the transparency that you will have in your PNG file. So that's why PNGs are so important, because transparencies will show in Customily really amazing. Once you have these two layers and you create like this this layered sandwich, in which you have the background, the overlay, and in the middle you will have the uploaded image, you're ready to create the rest of the customizations, which is, for example, this title that I created on Canva really fast, and this custom text that goes into Customily. So having a great concept is the first step, and then you just need to see what sort of assets you need. You will have all these in the live session, so don't worry. The idea is that you follow step by step. Now, I'm going to quickly go to my backend in my Shopify store in this case, but you can also have an Etsy listing, and quickly create a product that's going to be called the Magic Ball live session. Sorry, not being very creative at the moment. And it's going to be an active product on the online store. Probably going to put this on the Canvas collection, because it's a canvas, live session canvas. It's a poster we're going to create. We're going to have a quick image. Let's say I have a concept, yeah, like that. and just put a price on this and set a stock. So we quickly create a really fast product like this. Why do we want this new listing? Because this is basically a product on your store. If I were to click on preview, I will open a simple listing. This could be something you already have. And maybe before Customily, you had to manually put this together based on the information from your customers. But right now, you don't have to do that because in Customily, you can put this together any way you want. How are we going to do this product? We're going to go to the templates section. Let's say we have an existing product. So we are going to create a template for that product. So we go to the template section, we create a new template. And templates, this will be the live session magic ball. And very important, what's the size of the print? I'm going for inches. This is going to be a small print, 12 by 12 inches. Yeah. But you can change this any way you want, or you can actually add multiple sizes. But any template will start off with the size of the print area. You need to start off, you see the first step is the production file settings. This is what's going to be printed, and this is where you're going to create all your customization and your designs. So how do we put this together? Basically, we said we have the base file of the ball, then we have the overlay, which has all the effects and everything, and in the middle, there's the image. So if I were to start with something, thinking about what graphics I have and what graphics are needed from the customer, I'm going to click on dynamic image to start uploading my base information, my design. So if I click on upload image, I have the magic ball background here. That's one image. Then I'm going to create another dynamic image. This is going to be the magic ball overlay. And the overlay has transparency, and you can see that by dragging this around. And you see how that transparency is the effect we need for the image, right? So these are my two base elements. Also, I can create another dynamic image that has the title, in this case, this title, like that. So I have to put this together. I'm going to grab the base. Let's call this the base. And this will have the size, the entire size of this, 304.8. Yeah, this is a square. We're going to center this. Yeah. Then we're going to grab this. It's going to be the overlay. And this will also have the size of the print, like that. And center, center. Then we're going to grab this, which is the title. And this one will probably put this in a way that is aligned. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah. Something like that. Trying to be a bit centered. And then we need two more things. We need the name of the cursed soul. And for that, we're going to click on the text box to create this text box. This is a plain text box. And we also have the chance to create a curved text box. Yeah. And for the curved text box, actually, that's the one we're going to use. I'm going to take away this. Yeah. The curved text box is, there has a lot of settings that you can interact. To start with, you can test whatever you're typing. So very important. So you want to test out long names and stuff like that. And then you can, of course, manage the coordinates, rotations, and sizes of any object in the transform tab. But on the character tab, you have a lot of settings based on this curved text. For example, you can set this to be concave or convex. In this case, it's going to be convex. Then the size of the text will be, yeah, definitely bigger. And we're going to put this all caps. Yeah. And very important, the font. We want to add 3 fonts, okay, one by one, so we can offer them as choices. If the fonts, you can click on the plus and upload them by clicking on whatever font you have on your computer here, and they will show up in your database here. So I'm going to find the one that I want. It's called the CF Halloween. That's number 1 font. I can go click number 2 font and pick another one, like Magnificent Serif. And I can go to option number 3 and pick another one, like that. Now I have 3 fonts, and I see I can change them. And we can change the color in the color tab and pick something that is slightly somewhere in here. Yeah, kind of what we want. Yeah, that looks nice. If not, we can always pick that or open this to select whatever color we want this. Now, if we want to resize the arc of this curved text, all we need to do is stretch out this, and you see the curvature here is changing. Let me just hide this for a second. The curvature is changing, yeah. And of course, you don't want this to type all the way around. You may want this to stop at some point here, right? And at some point in here. Yeah, so that's how long it's going to be. Also, be always certain to check how all fonts are behaving. No, not all fonts are the same. Yeah, but this is something that definitely is looking nice. So let's call this the type your name. And we are missing just one item, and that's the placeholder. Placeholder is the object where your customers will upload their own image. They can upload any image, yes, and it will show. See, I'm resizing this, so I'm covering the entire ball here. Right now, this placeholder is on top of everything. If I put this a bit down on the layers, it's going to show, for example, below the overlay. And now it looks better. Now, what about the entourage? Because this is a full body or snapshot image, but there are integrations in Customily that allow you to remove the background or to change or to cut off the head. And that's one thing I wanted to show you. If you click on the image behavior, you will see that there are some settings, for example, the color mode and some adjustments on how it's going to fill the proportions of different images with the fill area. But here we have integrations that you can activate or not. Once you activate, for example, CutOut.Pro is the one we're going to be using now for the face cutout. What's going to happen is, if you don't have an account or you don't have an integration, you will have 2 buttons that will show you if you 2 promos that you have with Customily, a free month or 200 credits for free. Depending on your expected traffic, you can pick one of those. Once you follow those links and you sign up to CutOut.Pro, you will be given an API key, and you'll be able to check this to apply the AI filter. And now you see that, just one second, I'm going to lock everything except this. Now you see that the head is floating, and you can resize, adjust, or whatever you want about this particular image. Remember, this is all testing. We are trying with an image. We can try with another image at any point and see how the filter applies, again, cutting off the head. This is something your customers will be able to do as well, right? But in the end, this is the way you put together a special effect like that. By activating this integration, you will be able to provide this to any customers that are uploading images in this particular placeholder. So we do some final revisioning, and we type in whatever we want to be certain it's working. And now we're ready to done and click next to the next step. Of course, very important, we need to make sure we select the export format for our template. In this case, PDF, yeah, okay. And now click next. What's happening on the next stage of the template? You need to set up the preview. And the preview is basically what you see here, is the context and how the product will look on the front end for your customers. We're going to be using a pre-made image that has the context and the pumpkins and everything, and a blank space here for you to present your designs. So whenever you pick, for example, background color, in this case white, and you set this background color, you will have all the same settings that you had on the print, only you here can rearrange them to show nicer on the preview. For that, we are going to need a dynamic image, which is the context, all that context. And we're going to upload our context, which is this image that is transparent in the middle. This is basically content without any content in the middle, something like that. And whenever I put this to be the biggest size, now I have this context. I'm going to lock it so I don't move by accident, and everything is below the context. The base, the image upload, okay, upload image. I'm going to change that. The overlay, the title and title name, everything is here, and I can grab everything together, and I can resize it to match my preview. Like that. Nothing will happen to the print file. This is only for preview purposes. And again, you can test with an image, test your naming and everything, and just be certain that this is the final preview you want. Once you're satisfied with this, click next, and before you save your template, you get to see the print file and the preview at the same time. And again, I'm going to use again our designer Amber, cutting her face, putting her here. You see, whatever your customers do on the front end will replicate on the print file later. And we can change the color. Now we can change the font like that. This is a great way to understand how templates work, how they load on the front end so you can see this, but at the same time, they are creating your print file like this. So now we save, and we can jump right to the store section by going here to connect to a product. Could be, in this case, it could be Shopify, WooCommerce, Etsy, Walmart. There's no, this way of working is available for all possible platforms. Now I'm going to find my listing, which is a listing that is not connected to Customily already. And it's called the, okay, I need to sync again because I created this. And it's the Magic Ball Live Session Canvas. That's empty. Empty product. There's no customization, but I can choose the template. This is something you can always do. Choose the template, find the one you're looking for, and you can create the options automatically. So I'm going to click this to create the options. The options are created automatically really fast, and I can save this. And if I click on the eyeball here, I can go straight to the store to preview this, but I have this open here. So all I have to do now is refresh, and now Customily will be loaded in this product. And I will have my, well, my Halloween button here. You can modify this the way we did with this really cool information on how to create another experience for your customers. But it's the same logic. You can always type in your name, pick an image, and the filter will be applied. If you don't want your customers to wait, like I did before, you can put a help text indicating that you need to take a few minutes. And we can choose different fonts like that and preview the final solution. At the same time, once you purchase, the print file will be rendered. If you want to customize these labels and buttons and everything, you can always click here on the options set to open the options. You can preview them here. And in the upload image, you can change the text of the button, you can change the label. In the text element, you can change the label, number, customize the number of characters and restrictions, as well as changing the names of the fonts. So you can go really personal on this and change a lot of things. So in the end, the user experience is really amazing. This is our September challenge. If you recall, previously we have done some challenges with great prices, and now we are launching a new one. And this challenge is like this. Over September, we are going to be interacting differently, okay? And what you can do now over this month is to collect tickets to win great prizes. For example, attending our September live sessions will give you tickets. Joining our communities, for example, publishing products and sharing them also will give you a lot of tickets. So at the end of the month, 3 lucky winners will get Customily for free during the whole Q4, either on Shopify or on Etsy. The choice is yours. So the more tickets you get, the more chances you have to win. So I encourage you to look out in our communities to see more information on this challenge. Okay, get tickets, join live sessions, join communities, publish products, share and tag us along the way, and you will see it's going to be a great outcome when you collect all those tickets. Of course, to join our Facebook communities, you're more than welcome to find them, and they will see a lot of interaction and help around. Also, if you need help, always remember to write to support@customily.com. Open a live chat on the app as well, and we're here to help in any way. Well, that's all for today. We really wanted to share these cool products and cover these concepts. So I hope you liked this live session. And we'll see you next week on September, running the challenge together and getting tickets all together. So have a great day and thank you for joining.